Open your eyes, what can you see around? Wind of the open sky, over the siren sound. This is a dream, getting the royal scar, holding a diamond blade, throwing it far. You see me fly, I know they'll never catch me for it. You see me fly, the way I put my finger on it. You see me fly, you got it.
Well, hello everybody, as we are back for yet another in our double beheader episode this Friday of Outbreak Undead, The Feast. If you are just joining us and you didn't see the prior episode, no worries. Each is a standalone episode. It is affected by the ones that have come before it and will affect those that come after it. But right now we should concern ourselves only with these 5 brilliant RPers that are here to take on the undead vampiric apocalypse as themselves. That's right, we here are going at Tales from the Grim are going to be using Hunter Entertainment's SPEW system, SPEW, and if you take a questionnaire, it generates your stats for the vampiric apocalypse. So now you get to see who you will be and how you will fare when placed in a dire situation. This is a very unforgiving system. At best, you may have a 30% chance for success, but the story is in the failure, and the failures themselves aren't catastrophic, but bleed into the narrative and the tale that we're weaving here. The tale has been started, paragraphs and pages penned by those that have come before us, but it is to this page, this chapter, that we now turn. If you would like to help out the group that you see around you, you can look right down. You can give them advantages on their rolls, auto successes for either individual or the group entire. Or if this week has just been one of those weeks and you feel like, well, let's face it, vengeance, then you yourself can elect to bring one of the ancients into play. Several groups of vampires are working in the town of Garrett, Maryland, where these group will find themselves. One of the ancients has been revealed as a face claimed Susan Sarandon and taken one of our own, Susanna Grace, as an initiate. Will that happen to this group? Will another ancient appear? We shall see. But that's neither here nor there. We need to know our characters, or better yet, the players, because they're one and the same. Let's jump over to my good buddy, who we are very happy to be playing together because time zones have conspired against us. Tom, my friend, how are you today?
Oh, I'm so happy to actually be able to finally be playing a game with you, dude. It's been so long and I'm really excited, really excited. Horror games with minimal chance of survival, which are brutal, are my cup of tea. I mean, you know, we've played Call of Cthulhu, and that is a brutal game, and that we fell in love with it. So I'm really looking forward to this. I have no idea how I'm going to do. Most likely going to go into a corner and cry. But we'll see. But I'm really excited to get started, yeah.
I will say that if the past group is any indication, crying in the corner is actually a viable tactic. So nice. Keep that in mind as we drop down to a new friend and face to the channel. Aya, how are you? And are you ready to enter the vampiric apocalypse?
Absolutely. I'm so delighted to be here and to join into it. I'm Ayashi-sama usually, Aya for short. And I've watched a lot of Outbreak Undead, but this is my first experience with it, so I'm very excited.
It's a system, and I love it. So whenever I say you like it, Paladin has done something, I will see what it is in just a moment. As we go over to another new friend, Sarah, how are you, and are you ready to enter this vampiric hellscape?
Yes, I can't wait. I have no idea what I'm doing. Aya dragged me here, and I found it fantastic. And we played Call of Cthulhu together once, Aya and I, and it was interesting. And I got shot, and it was amazing. So I can't wait.
Well, you're going into it, Sarah, with a good attitude. If your prior experience of being shot in Cthulhu, you're on the right playing field, which is great.
I survived.
Well, then, no, we'll see. By the way, everybody, I believe that as we have just had a donation, let me verify that Paladin has in fact come from the great beyond and given you all an auto success. You all have an automatic success. So I will let you all know that with an automatic success, if something happens that you simply have to have succeed, you can roll, and any successes you have will add to it, but you're automatically guaranteed a 5-star success, courtesy of Paladin. Paladin, who went out like a champ, getting reeled in by some type of creature and bitten on the neck in our last session. Sarah, welcome to hell. Matthias, how are you, my friend? Welcome back to the channel. A survivor of last season.
Kind of.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to this and hopefully not dying. Maybe dying. I don't know.
I'm going with.
We will see.
I think that. God willing, we're here, Norgo, in a year, and I'll say, hey, veteran of 2 campaigns, he survived them both. I think we're going to have a similar situation next year.
Yeah.
Fantastic, my friend. And finally, a familiar face on the channel from May Black Roses Bloom and Project Athena, my dear friend Lindy. Lindy, how are you today, and are you ready to bring your tool and nunchuck skills to the vampiric apocalypse?
Yes, I am super spiffy. I'm very excited to play with these lovely people. And oh my gosh, I unfortunately, something came up at the last minute. I wasn't able to play in the zombie game last year. So I'm very excited about this one because, like Susie, I think we're cut from the same cloth because we're both like vampires. So I am thrilled. I've got my vampire cup ready. I would not be, against being turned into a vampire, but surviving's cool too. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Whose side are you on, Linda?
She's always on Lindy's.
True.
Okay, so everybody, join me. I see you in chat, Susie. So everyone will begin our tale as we have started all the others, and that is with a bat's eye view of the town of Garrett, Maryland. Garrett is a quaint place nestled in the hills of Maryland, and as we zoom and whip through the clouds, we can see now about 4 hours after sundown, the town looks the same. It looks normal. The traffic lights go from green to yellow to red. No one's walking along the streets. It's tranquil, a bit quiet. Or it was, until an explosion rocks a parking lot as we zoom over top of it. A great plume that mushrooms in a small area, illuminating figures as they walk outside of the parking lot. But that's neither here nor there. That is a tale told. We need a tale unspun. And so we flap up the hill, cross the town, until we get to a cemetery. Rose Hill Cemetery, nestled just inside the border of the town. And as we get there, just inside the center of town, and as we get there, we zoom down, but there aren't any buildings. I'd like spot listens from everyone, please.
Good start.
We're starting off the right way with all this red. So we will go with redundant. Tom, as you look and you become aware of what's going on, you are in utter darkness. And as you begin to move, you realize you're pressed in something tight. You can move and twist yourself, but you above and to the front and to the sides, and behind you, you're in some type of rectangle.
Okay. So I'll kind of knock it. Is it firm? Does it feel firm, like solid?
It feels really firm, and when you touch it, I'm going to give you this one for free. It feels like stone.
Oh, all around me feels like stone, even behind me.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, shit. Hello? Hello? I start banging.
And you hear that kind of your own voice pulling back into your own ears as it bounces off this stone, not creating an echo, but creating kind of a drum effect, that just kind of a pressure. Hello, 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 as it bounces inside. And that's you. Sarah, you come to and wake, and you feel the same type of confines to the side, to the front, to the above, to the back. And I'll give you this one for free, Sarah. Yours feels like wood.
Okay, and is it one solid plank or is it put together?
I will give me a search roll for this as you begin to feel your way. You're in utter darkness here as you're... There are different slats. This appears to be of a simple construction. If you had to make a guess, you'd think pine?
Can I try to push it open or to hit against it to see if it breaks?
Absolutely. Make me a melee or a bludgeon roll, please. Fighting bludgeon. Melee attack bludgeon, please. Okay, you hit and you do kind of break one of the very flimsy pine boards, and as you pull your hand back, you feel something begin to move into your space as something is draining on top of you. By the grit feel, you would believe it to be dirt. But we'll leave you there, Sarah. You're not going anywhere. Let's jump over to Lindy. Lindy, my friend, you wake up in similar circumstances. You feel yourself surrounded by these press of walls. There's no light, nothing to see, just to feel, just to hear, and in this case, smell. I'll give you this one. Yours feels like wood.
Oh, good. I'm proficient with wood. I'm gonna see if I can find like a latch or a seam.
Roll me a search. You fail to find any type of crease whatsoever. And as you kind of sit there, you push and move, but nothing gives. But the atmosphere seems to thicken a bit as this situation, this revelation is now weighing on you.
Air.
As we drop to our next friend, which I believe is Matthias. Matthias, how are you, my friend? Inside the same situation. You feel wood to your right, left, above, in front, and behind. You feel this press. What do you do?
Wait, what's going on? And I'm like searching as well.
Yep, roll me a search.
Trying to feel my way.
You find one of the seams, and much like Sarah discovered, this is a board construction in front of you, and you feel these individual slats as they run from your head down towards your toes.
Well, I try to press against it, like with legs and hands.
Okay, if you're attempting to move it, go ahead and roll me a the bludgeoning for me, please.
Yeah.
As I...
All right.
Okay, again, as you push, you feel the slat break, and as it breaks by your hand, as you extract it, the slat punches inwards, and you can feel it move past your shoulder, and dirt begins to pour into your space. And as you, what the hell, as this dirt comes in, Aya, you awake in the same situation. But when you press your hands to the right, the left, up, down, in front of you and behind, you feel stone.
Well, I'm slightly claustrophobic, so that's fun. So I'm probably gonna start to slightly hyperventilate and trying to panicky, try and push against everything, which is probably gonna lose some dust, and I'm allergic to dust. So it's a mix of coughing and hyperventilating at the moment.
Okay, so with the gamut of respiration things being run here, roll me a melee attack bludgeon, which is just for strength, as you're trying to do whatever you can. What ends up happening here is there is no movement from this stone in front of you, none. It doesn't budge whatsoever. But as you do this, and as your claustrophobia kicks in, that dust does whip a bit around you, as you can feel the thickness as it kind of settles from your exertion, and it lights over your nose and your mouth, starting a cough as it goes through. At this point, now that everyone has understood the situation that they're in, let us make our first composure roll. The composure roll, everybody, for our purposes here, 1, not bad. 2, you still have time. 3 strikes, you're out. So go ahead and roll me a composure roll here. You're looking for decent stuff. Okay, so everybody fails except for Matthias. That's a strike against you all. Save Nurgo. As you all begin to understand the situation, especially those of us that are in the stone with Tom and Aya, nothing is moving in this space. But now what I would like everyone to do is tell me what you intend to do in your situations. We're going to roll some blue dice to see in what order we do it in, and we're going to see who starts to lose air. So let me know, what are your intentions, everybody?
Currently, my intention is to see if I have like a mobile on me, like a phone or anything, so search my pockets for anything that I have. And then if that fails and there's nothing in there, to kind of feel around the stone and kind of maybe see if I can find maybe a latch or something that I can grab hold of, something out of the ordinary that maybe can help me in the situation, you know, like just maybe a little gap that I can get through, or at least give me some blooming oxygen. That's my current thinking.
Okay. And let's see, I will need one from, let's see, speed roll from Lindy, just one speed die. Oh, Lindy's going first. Okay, so I have Lindy, Matthias, Tom, Sarah, and Aya. Okay, Lindy, what's your intentions here?
All right, Greg, I hope you're ready for another elevator-esque PSA. This is what you do if you find yourself buried alive in a coffin, folks. So, first step, you wriggle out of your shirt, you tie a hole at the top so that way you don't suffocate on loose earth. Next step, try to bust through the top, and you keep scraping the dirt towards your feet because you don't want your head buried. So, yeah.
Armed, somehow armed with the knowledge on how to survive being buried.
I'm
Greg,
worried.
this is a safety PSA.
I'm genuinely worried
I
now.
have random ones of these.
Right.
I go, how would I survive in this obscure situation? And I just hold on to it.
How do you survive in this situation that you would only really know if you were like an international spy or something? But not me. I'm just an RPGer. Right. Okay.
How to survive a falling elevator, how to survive in a... You know, it's fine.
Yeah. The evidence is beginning to stack, Lindy. Okay.
Now everyone knows. This is how you survive a being buried alive in a coffin. You have about 2 hours of air usually as well.
Absolutely. And as Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they are punched in the mouth. And the punch in the mouth in TTRPGs, it's of course the dice. So as you begin to do all of this, roll me let's do an endurance. This is an endurance as you begin to pull yourself. You kind of break through these slats as you're...
Yep. Just at the top and scraping the dirt down to the bottom.
Okay, you do begin to get movement and you begin to push some of this dirt down towards you. I will say that your shirt has failed because you seem to be wearing a one-piece jumper.
Oh no! How am I gonna not suffocate on this loose earth? It's fine. I'll just pull it up. I'll just pull it up.
So as you're pushing and beginning to like Kill Bill bride your way out of this particular situation, let's go over to Matthias. Matthias, my friend, what do you intend to do in this situation?
I think I just try to push more and get out of there. Right now,
Let's do an endurance as well, as you feel, like sands through the hourglass, you feel this dirt coming in and you try to, get yourself free. Here's the good news. You've done a great job of moving the earth. Here's the bad news. It's on your head as it begins to pour in as you are filling your space now with this dirt. And it's one of those moments where you are quite literally in the grip of death. With that situation escalating, Tom, you said you were going to search around inside, try to find something to help you out with the situation. Check your pockets. I'll give you the pockets for free. You seem to be wearing a one-piece, long-legged, long-sleeved, button-up in the front jumper, and nothing is in your pockets. And you may roll me a search roll if you're looking for something inside this space. That could.
Why not? Search. 0 degrees of failure? I'm assuming that's somewhat good.
It's not bad. As you search around, I will tell you this. You don't find what you're looking for, but you don't find anything inside. So you're quite comfortable that you have checked the entirety of this space. There's nothing to be found.
Okay.
Sarah, let's cut over to you. What would you like to do as you are surrounded by this wood, this press of earth, this situation?
Well, I'm not as knowledgeable as Lindy about being buried alive, that's for sure.
No one is.
I might
People
know
have
how to
these
survive
thoughts.
a crocodile attack, but I don't think that's going to be useful here. So, but I have seen Kill Bill, so I am going to try to break a piece of the wood big enough for me to try to climb out.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and do a melee attack bludgeoning as you do the 1-inch punch, basically, to see if you can... what we're going to say is you get it cracked, and it doesn't start pouring anything in, but you're able to kind of open it a bit as dirt begins to trickle down into and onto your body and your face. Again, Sarah, we'll also say that you realize you're wearing something that is just one piece type of like zipped up the front, buttoned up the front jumpsuit. So that's another thing that you kind of glean from your situation as well. Aya, you are inside the stone space. Is there anything you would like to attempt here?
I'm gonna just assume that the top or the bottom might give way if I put enough strength against it. So I'm going to try and position myself like with the knee and one foot like middle-ish to get a good hold, and then try and give a good push to the top part, hoping that it's gonna give way eventually.
Sure, go ahead and roll me. I will either take an endurance or a melee attack bludgeon. This might be more of an endurance if you're trying to like sustain something. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I would like Tom to roll me a spot listen.
All right. 1 degree of success.
Very faintly. I mean, just at the edge of your perception, Tom, you hear the twinkling of a bell. Ding, 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 ding.
Hello? Is anyone out there? Hello?
Okay, for those of us that are digging through Earth, based on prior rolls, I would like Sarah and Lindy to take 1 harm, and which I'll mark down, and Matthias, you take 2, as the earth and the air becomes one and the same. And I would like composure rolls from Tom and Aya. These aren't against your major composure rolls, but this determines something else.
Okay.
Wow, 5 degrees for both, as you each take 1 harm as you realize the air in here doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and you're not getting any more of it, as the seals are not giving along the inside of this space. But let's cut back out to Lindy. Lindy, you're doing your swim. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I am.
You've committed past the point of no return.
I have. This is how you escape a coffin grave.
Another PSA. I will take an endurance or a
full of
swim. No, I'm joking. I'll take an endurance.
Okay.
Okay, so with 3 degrees of failure, you still make some progress. You're at this point now, Lindy, where you've pulled yourself out of the space where you started, and you're moving like a burrowing creature or a worm towards what you hope is the surface.
I'd be really surprised if they buried me upside down. Also gravity, so yeah, it's got to be the surface.
You would think, right? Matthias, you are covered in this dirt. What would you like to do, my friend?
I try to wriggle in a way that I maybe get a bit air again.
Okay. I tell you what, roll me a general endurance here, as
That went so well.
So, for the purposes of mechanics, you begin to flail about, Nurgo, as you're trying to find some type of way to get more air, and it beneficially helps you start climbing through this loose earth. And with your success, if someone were watching us with a Minecraft view of this situation, you and Lindy are basically at the same block depth as you are climbing up. Tom, what would you like to do, my friend?
Okay, so I've calculated that there's no other way out, so it's time to brute force this. So I'm going to use my hands, give it a gentle push to see how much force is behind it, as in, like, how much weight or anything. Because if this is a sarcophagus or something like that, then maybe they didn't seal it, as in, like, maybe it's just a heavy thing to lift off. And if possible, how much room is there from me lying down to the surface? Like,
you have a good, like, 3-4 inches of give from, like, nose to
enough to like get my legs up.
I'll tell you what, you roll me a balance, and that'll basically go for your flexibility as well here, to see if you can bring your knees up, at least in a way where you could use them.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it.
Not enough space.
Okay, well, we're just gonna have to use hands then, and I'm just gonna kind of use my hands and try and steady motion, steadily getting more and more pressure as I pull. See if there's any movement whatsoever.
Gotcha. Sustained force gradually increasing. Roll me an endurance.
All right. Ooh, 2 good degrees of success. Ooh, nice.
Fantastic. It's a little bit slow for me as it pops up, I am sure. With 2, I would like a spot listen from Aya, please.
Yep.
You believe you recognize or perceive something, but your current situation is kind of taking precedence over what's that sound? It's more of, I can't breathe. So you have the idea, but it's not kind of creeping through the dread. And Tom, you feel maybe it's a lie, but you feel a bit of a give, and there is a sound that's almost like somebody opening a Ziploc bag quickly, that tearing sound, and you feel some sweet sweet air creep in. You can't move, but you hear just enough of a crack that there is that cool rush across your features. Sarah, you are in the same situation as Lindy and Nurgo. It is swim or be swarmed. What would you like to attempt?
I'm going. Yeah, either I stay here and no, I'm climbing out. I'm going to try to climb out.
Absolutely. Roll me that endurance. Oh, there we go. So, with a Herculean effort, Sarah, you are climbing and you feel your arm punch into the open air. And as you pull yourself up from this loose earth, you are the first to look around at Rose Hill Cemetery. And I'm going to give you this for free. You also look around and you hear the twinkling of bells at 2 fresh graves to either side of you, and the twinkling coming from inside an open mausoleum about 10 yards from you.
I don't like this.
I believe, Sarah, you asked if you could hide, and I love that idea. You may roll a stealth to see how well you do so.
Oh, sorry.
You believe you are expertly hidden. As you get down behind a gravestone, you believe that you are one with the night as you hide behind this gravestone. Aya, let's cut to you. As you are inside this space, what would you like to do or attempt inside your stone structure?
Well, I assume when I was pressing against the top, nothing moved.
Nothing moved for you, no, last time either.
Okay, then using my dancing muscles, I'm gonna put some pressure on with my legs, with my knees.
Okay. And again, I will remind everybody that you do have your auto successes from Paladin. All right, I know no one wants to blow this early. Go ahead and roll me an endurance, though, Aya, as you attempt to do what you're doing. You don't feel any air like Tom did, but you feel a slight, I mean almost imperceptible budge in the slab in front of you. It may be a trick of your own mind, but it seems to just move just a bit. But that rush of air does not occur as it did with Tom. I'm going to take from Lindy 1 harm. I'm going to take from Tom 1 harm. From Aya 1 harm. Sarah is hidden. No one knows where Sarah is, but she does not take a harm. And Matthias, you take 1 harm as well. Lindy, you're halfway there. You're digging. I'm assuming you're going to continue.
Yeah, Greg.
Give me that endurance. All you needed was anything that wasn't a 4 or a 5 failure as you punch up through the earth. Sarah, from your expert hiding place, you would see this hand punch through the earth as Lindy pulls herself out, mud.
And I fist pump because my obscure knowledge of random survival scenarios has come in handy once again.
Right. Thank you, non-spy related job. As you punch up through and get into the open air, Lindy, you are met with the sound of a bell. There is a broken grave right to your right, and 1 grave over, there is a fresh grave with a bell dingling over top of it, and the sound of a bell twinkling from a mausoleum.
Okay. People have been buried alive. Oh no. I should help them, probably.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go for the grave next, close to me, because that's the closest one, and try to stand to the side. I don't want to stand on the grave. Stand to the side and start digging from the top.
Sure thing. So as you do this and as you start digging down, I would like Nurgo and you to both roll endurance as you're going to meet in the middle here, hopefully.
Well,
Hey,
I'm digging the
helped.
wrong way.
It's exactly what happens. Matthias, you think it's this way. And when you start digging sideways or at an angle, a hand reaches down and grabs the back of your jumpsuit as lifting you clear is Lindy as she births you from this grave and pulls you up onto the ground. Lindy, please add 1 Matthias to your inventory.
Okay, I'm doing it right now. Boom.
Perfect.
Oh, thank God.
Oh god. Yeah, no, people are buried alive. I think one of them got out already. I just got out. You're out. I think there's people in that mausoleum, maybe. We should go.
Oh,
Sarah,
God.
you see all of this, but you're expertly hidden. Lindy and
I'm a
Matthias.
little bit less scared now.
Right, you see somebody
bit.
in plain sight, hidden behind a gravestone. There is like a backlit
I
source
assume
that they
that's the
didn't
person
notice.
who's probably dug out of the other
Right.
grave, but they're trying to hide. I'm just gonna let them have it. I'm more concerned about those who don't have air right now, probably.
Okay,
I'm going to say hello. Hi. I just someone
hello?
come out the grave and be really happy about it. And yeah, I just wanted to, see if you guys were alive or halfway there. I don't know. This is weird.
Nope, we're alive. We're gonna
Good.
see who else is alive.
I think I'm alive.
Gotta listen for the bells.
Bells. Okay,
Yeah,
there
I'm
was
a
another
vampire.
bell at
Yeah.
the mausoleum. There was
Hey, look, I
another
found
bell.
a graveyard cat. Isn't it cute?
Adorable.
Lindy, you rush into the mausoleum. Matthias and Sarah, you are viewing one another. And as you look at each other, Sarah, you see that Nurgo is wearing a gray jumpsuit. And Matthias, you see that Sarah is wearing an identical gray jumpsuit.
Oh,
And just so
can I search
absolutely.
my own jumpsuit?
Absolutely, you may go right ahead. You find nothing in your pockets, nothing, no slips of paper, no keys, no smartphone. And everybody at chat, bear with us. I just checked. It is the Twitch server in Virginia that I use that is reporting outages. So hopefully it'll right itself. It did last week, so we'll see. Yeah, but you don't find anything on your person, Sarah, as you look at this jumpsuit you've never seen before. Lindy, you run into the mausoleum and there are 2 shelf burial mounts that are both have a dingling bell on the outside of them. Intermittent. Ding, 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 ding.
Are they like on opposite sides or one on top of the other?
Opposite sides.
Okay, good, because I'm real short and I wasn't gonna be able to help whoever's on the top shelf. So I'll just
Would you like
go
to
over one.
right or left?
Let's go left.
Okay. As soon as you get there, you see a large band compression winch on the outside of it. They're used to make these things airtight. And Lindy, because you have as your special ability tools, you do not have to roll to undo this mechanism. And as you do, the slide of the slab cracks and rolls back.
Hey, I'm gonna go over here.
Hi.
Just breathe, and then I'm gonna go loosen the compression on the other one.
Trying.
I don't have medical proficiency. I can't help you. I can just help with the tool.
Fine.
We're going to say that, Lindy, you're able to cut across and open up the side as well, and Tom is revealed as for the first time the entire group finds themselves together. Some on the
Now, is
outside.
this like real life where I know Tom?
Absolutely, yeah. If you know each other in real life, you know each other here.
I just jump in his sarcophagus with him. Like, I'm so happy you're alive.
The sarcophagus closes again. No, I'm joking.
No.
Lindy?
This, I had that one dream once where we were driving through West Virginia and it was real weird and you visited. But this is the first time we've actually been in person. This is great. I mean, we were buried alive, but I'm happy you're here.
Uh-huh. I was kind of hoping it at a convention, but I guess this is
Same,
just as good.
same. You know, this maybe it's a buried alive convention. We're all just now members.
Right.
I didn't sign up for that.
I did.
No.
Oh, hello.
Who
Me
wants free
neither.
passes?
Hi.
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 I'm gonna
Lily?
get out of the.
Did Sarah come in? Did you come in as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
eventually.
Yeah.
I'm throwing myself at her. If I topple her over, that's
It's
fine.
okay.
I'm gonna be
It's
so
okay.
happy to see her for the second time alive.
So as
Somebody
this,
I know.
as this
No offense.
reunion goes on, I assume Nurgo, you're just like self high five, or just
Yeah, I'm standing in the door.
right. So, we'll say this, Nurgo, as you're looking around, you're the first one that sees the very old television with rabbit ears at the end of the mausoleum. And just as your gaze meets this antiquated contraption, it with snow, and a face appears.
Whoa, guys. Over there.
What?
I'll
What
have a look.
the hell?
What kind of mausoleum has a TV hooked up? I mean, come on.
With
Mine.
rabbit ears?
So as we had to recap where we were, everyone is free of their coffin confines, and we now have a TV that apparently cannot have the channel changed, with Zoe Saladana on the screen. She is wearing a very smart suit as far as you can tell. Her hair is slicked back into some type of ponytail and or bun, and she is looking at all of you, especially as apparently able to see through the very premise of television, and looks at Tom for the channel switch with a raised eyebrow. And then, are you all capable of listening? Or is that beneath your species?
I don't know. Is this your sense of fashion? Because then that's beneath me.
She smirks slightly at that. It was not my choice, but we had to identify whose little piggies were on whose team.
Fine, so what
you
is this
mean?
about?
Yes, and we're Team Gray.
It
Meh,
is.
it could be worse. It's close enough to black.
Could be. We
also,
could be
yeah.
like Team Pink, Hot Pink.
Yeah.
That
Oof.
would be worse.
Yeah.
Or yellow.
Commit suicide. Yeah, that doesn't go with my skin tone. No, thank you.
Mm-mm.
Your job, my little piggies, is to survive. As soon as you leave the graveyard, you will have 5 minutes before they will come for you. If you
What?
stay in the graveyard, you will have 10 minutes before they come for you. So it is up to you to decide how you wish to die, on your feet and running, or in your graves. I've provided them already for you. You can climb back in if you'd like.
Nope, no thanks. Nope.
What? Wait,
Who's
whoa.
coming?
Who is they? And we're trying to survive, yeah, but where are we trying? Are we is there a destination we have to make it to?
Can
Seems
we
like a
leave
game.
town? Where are we
Fucked up
even?
game.
You
We
are
need
somewhere, and you need to get elsewhere.
Oh,
Who's specific?
Very concise. Mm-hmm.
They-
helpful, yeah.
Are there directions to elsewhere?
Yes, not here, and away from here. Listen, please don't try to disappoint me. I have a lot riding on this. If you do, I will likely kill you myself. However, if you keep your head, you won't take any bait and instead start thinking like fishermen and not fish. And she lets that strange statement hang in the air for a moment.
To be fair, I am Pisces, so.
Me too. Oh my gosh.
Quick question before we start bonding.
Gary.
You said about something about teams and who is on the team. Are we fighting people? Are we supposed to run away from people? Kill people?
Yes.
It's like a
Involved?
battle royale.
Whatever you think will get
Oh.
you the farthest. If you believe that killing someone will give you an extra step or two, by all means, I applaud your initiative. But I just want you to get far. The farther you make it, the more I receive.
So you bet on us to survive, not to die.
How about
Or
we
die
just
later.
How about we split the reward? If we make it alive.
Hang on.
we
So
could use one of those coffin covers to just bolt up the mausoleum.
I don't think that's gonna do a whole lot of
Yeah,
good.
then we're trapped. Oh wait, actually it's not bad to, I don't know how flimsy the wood is, but maybe as a shield, or if we are somewhere up on the hill, if we want to get down fast,
sled it.
get on it. I mean, if we have technically 5 minutes here and then 5 minutes outside of the graveyard before
That's
they
true.
come
We
after
should
us,
get anything
the fastest
useful.
movement. Yeah.
Okay, so you benefit if we get further, yes? The further we are, the more you benefit, yeah?
Correct, yes.
So is there anything you could offer us or any advice that you could offer us so that we can get further?
That was what I was waiting for.
Any protection?
She looks off to the side, away from the direct gaze that she's been staring like through the TV at you. Looks off to the side. I'm only allowed to say certain things, or I receive a penalty. If I receive 3 such penalties, it is neither good for me or you. So
Okay.
all I can say is, don't think like your species. Be the fishers and not the fish.
So we try to catch what tries to catch us.
No, we gotta think like human hunters, not humans.
I'm elbowing
Oh.
Sarah. I want us to start rummaging through the mausoleum to try to find anything that's useful.
Roll me searches. If you're going to start searching around, I'll take
Yeah.
even, the search will work well for the outside as well as the inside of the mausoleum.
Okay.
You know the direction she looked when she said that? I want to search where she was looking. When
Okay.
she said that, if that's all right.
I have a feeling she was just looking off camera. Can I take those pressure clamps?
I feel that might have been a
The
hint. He's
coffins?
right.
The pressure clamps are part of the coffins
Okay, they're
themselves.
built in. I
Yeah.
was hoping they weren't, but okay.
I try to see where the TV is getting the energy from.
Yeah, it's plugged into the back, and there's not an outlet in the mausoleum, but there is an extension cord that goes below ground into some type of conduit.
I try to drag it out for now.
Okay.
See if it goes anywhere.
You're able to track it until it goes underground into what looks like some tubing.
Mm-hmm. Protect it from the dirt and lightning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And we won't be able to
Okay.
follow that because it'll be underground, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Without a
thank-
lot of effort. So,
Yeah.
what I want to do is I want to go outside. I want to stand on top of a grave or like a sepulcher or something, and I want to look and see if there's any maintenance sheds in this cemetery.
Sure, roll me a spot listen, please.
Sure.
You don't succeed at what you wanted to do, but you don't fail in it either, Lindy, as you climb up to get purchase, kind of hanging off of a cross, a stone cross, looking around a close to ground Batman. You look over the wrought iron fence of the Rose Hill Cemetery, and you can see that you're surrounded, even by your slight elevation, you're surrounded by a town. And as you look, even with 0 degrees of failure, you see Jessup's Bait Shop.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay. That's interesting.
Big
So
strong hint.
I'm still in the mausoleum with who's still with me?
Me and Sarah, at least,
Yeah, we were searching
Okay.
around for you.
with moderate success.
Yeah, other than the cord that goes into the ground, there doesn't seem to be anything else inside the mausoleum.
Okay. So I'm going to go up and I don't think we've been properly introduced. I'm Thomas or Tom. I thought if we're going to survive together, we better do that. I think it'd be better.
Hi, Tom. I'm Sarah.
Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
I'm Aya.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so
Should we
I'm
all
just-
go up and follow Lindy?
I think so. Lindy, I know Lindy. She's got a pretty good knowledge of,
Dear
you know,
bitch.
like DIY and stuff like that. I was just wondering, like, I mean, in this current situation, do either of you have any like something you can bring to the, you know, like skills or something that maybe could benefit the whole party, the party as a whole?
Well, if we could get me a bow and arrows, that'd be quite useful, but I
Okay,
do think
well-
they're hard to come by.
Well, I mean,
I'm
you
good
never know.
altruist.
It's good to know. It's good to know. It's good to know what skills you got or anything like that.
So anything range is good for me, basically.
I'm a good shot.
You're a good shot.
I'm a good shot. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
have
I mean,
I have actually shot with like shotguns and pistols and things
Okay,
like that. And
that's good.
and I'm usually accurate. I don't have any on
Okay.
me at the moment though. So
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
looking outside, does it look like we're in America? I mean, does it look like, are there any signs?
He's
in-
asking if there's
This-
no ancient buildings here. If everything-
It's really modern.
This mausoleum does not look like nice European classic architecture.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, it's not old enough.
I told my European
This
friends on the last scene, yeah, you look out and you see a pile of guns. You see you see the local caloric
Oh, no.
intake counter for the nearby restaurants, and you're like
Yeah.
3,200 calories for a hamburger, America.
It's
No, yeah,
It's
the
How big
mausoleum
is this soda?
not,
right.
is not at least 700 years old. That might be a hint.
Right.
Yeah, we can probably tell from some of the names on the graves, maybe.
That's
Right.
the years and stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
nothing from 1400.
Yeah, you identify yourself as being in America and the state former colony of Maryland.
Okay, so we're in America, so therefore I choose
There
to
should be
believe in the
guns everywhere.
stereotype of everyone's got a gun. So, and there's a city, there's like a town all around us. So hopefully, maybe we'll be able to get you some firearms or even a bow and arrow.
Yep.
And what about you? What can you do?
Myself, well, I mean, I have a few things, but primarily I'm quite quick on my feet and quite quiet. I can move quite quickly, quite quiet.
He's a rogue.
I'm glad that he said
I was-
quite
All that
quiet, because
LARPing.
if he had said just quite quick, I was like, he's going to leave us, isn't he?
Well,
gonna
you
run
could
for it.
debate.
I'm a world-class
Quick bait.
sprinter.
I'm not that fit.
And I'm going now.
I'm all right in fitness. so,
Bye.
yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
All right,
Exactly.
so as you're all discussing this, Zoe on the TV looks down and says, you have 2 minutes until they come for you.
Oh, time to move.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
I have looked out, and I've also, if I can, I want to grab a piece of the coffin that I tore out on the way out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get a shard of it.
Stabby.
I kick over the TV.
Nice, nice. I like the act of defiance. It's good.
As
A
it
little bit of
hits,
vandalism on the way out.
as it hits and begins to shh, the last thing you hear from Zoe before it goes dead is, "Oh, how petty!" As it goes up.
I
Lindsay?
mean, she couldn't see us, so
Yeah, where the fuck was the camera?
Yeah.
yeah.
Lindy, what did you find? Have you found anything?
Jessup's bait shop. She said, "Think like fishermen, not like fish."
Yeah,
I feel like
that
it's
was a
as much
hint.
of a cryptic clue as she could give us.
Maybe there's some equipment.
And if not,
Let's go.
fishermen have all sorts of equipment. There's gonna be
Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
We have 2 minutes.
stuff
There's
like that.
blades. Let's go,
Faster,
let's go, let's
faster.
go, let's go. Let's run. Tom, you're the vanguard.
Okay.
Which
Run,
leads me as you
go.
all
We're just
begin to
following
move. As you all begin to move, this is, you're all TTRPG players. Let me hear your marching order.
I'll go first.
What, Tom?
I'll back up Tom.
Yeah. You're pretty
Tom.
nippy, aren't you, Lindy?
Sarah, you, me?
Yeah.
I go last.
Okay, Sarah, me. Yeah.
Okay, so Tom, Lindy,
If he's too
Sarah.
slow, grabbing him.
Okay, so
Pulling
until you tell me otherwise, the current marching order is going to be Tom, Lindy, Sarah, Aya, and Matthias. So you begin to move. Are you moving for speed when you exit Rose Hill Cemetery, or are you moving quietly? Speed or stealth, my friends?
Can we have a look?
Okay. So how far is the
They know
store from
we
the
came out of the cemetery.
There's a bit of a, as soon as you leave the wrought iron of the cemetery, there is a kind of a rolling lawn for about 25 yards, and then a street, a sidewalk street, and on the other side of that 2-lane street is the bait shop.
I mean, they haven't been
I'd say
whatever's
run.
next to us, so
It's
sprint.
still
it.
open.
Yeah.
They know where we are. The
They
more
know where
time
we're
we have
at.
to
At least.
prepare,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
raid.
Hungry. Run.
We're raiding. The magic makes this.
You run into the shop, the door is open, and it, much in an eerie kind of throwback to your prior situation, a little bell rings as you walk in. Ding, ding, ding. You are inside what looks to be a bait shop, as you see fishing poles and various elements of, you know, both mechanical, chemical, and maybe somewhere live bait.
Okay. Right, so we don't know what's hunting us, right? I assume people.
Something. Well,
Was.
not humans, because she keeps saying species. So
Yeah.
something inhuman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Don't think like a species.
Okay, you know what?
Basic
I'm gonna-
supernatural shit. Werewolves, vampires.
Okay, so I think we
zombies.
should delegate who's getting what, okay? So we can get through this quicker. So if we take a
Mhm.
to the store ourselves, we'll quick find something that you think that could be useful, and then we'll shove it all in a fishing rod bag. They're quite big, so we can all put it
Yeah.
if there is a
Yeah.
fishing rod bag.
Not
there.
too much weight, but just the right amount.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
we can 2 bags, that way we can just divvy
Yeah,
up.
I
and
mean,
have
I
2
can
light
carry a
ones,
bag.
Yeah.
Don't
Alright.
be bad.
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Split.
Go.
We didn't decide who does what, but okay.
Well,
I
we
mean, as
can
long as you
take
grab
like
the-
a,
Searching
like
different
a
areas.
We can talk
Yeah.
too.
Looking
so.
for anything sharp, first of all.
Yep.
Wait, isn't there like bats that you hit the fish with? Shouldn't there
Yeah,
be
and-
bats somewhere around?
probably like poles that.
They're
like,
small.
You might
they're like
even
little
be able
billy
to find a bow
club.
and arrow because there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, fly fish.
So we're
Oh,
looking
that's
for things
so-
that can hurt
yeah.
other things.
I'm
Is
also
there
gonna see
knives?
if there's
There'll definitely be knives.
I'm gonna look in the emergency, like the survival section, see if there's first aid kits, flares, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Definitely glow sticks. Glow sticks are used
Glow
in fishing.
sticks. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna look because there's probably, as you said, a compound bow around
Mm-hmm.
because they're quite dominant in fishing. Not my kind of bow, but I can work it. So
As
we're
you
looking for that
all-
section.
Yeah, as you all split and begin to look for what you're going to look for, roll me either a spot listen or a search, please.
Don't know which one would be better.
I genuinely don't know what's better. I
Wow.
guess I'm doing a search, really.
Yeah, I'll do a search.
Yeah, I'm
Search
doing
as well.
Oh,
Not
Okay,
bad.
Sarah, Tom, and Lindy, as you all are looking around, you know, you find the small billy clubs that are used to club the fish. Anytime you get towards something that would look like there should be a first aid section here, or there should be a bow section here, or there should be a knife section here for scaling and for cleaning the fish, all you find is an identical comic rendition of a figure with slicked back black hair, a high collar, fangs, and a big kind of cape. And the comic is going like this, and you see motion lines coming from the finger in an almost like a type of
I'll
thing.
take it.
Wait,
yeah.
Count Chocula raided the store before us.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I
exactly
think
who
we
did it.
should get going
I don't-
faster.
Oh, maybe she kept saying fisherman and bait. Let's see where the live bait is.
Live bait, yeah.
I want to check the aquariums. Maybe there's something hidden
Mhm.
around those. Lindy, sorry.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep.
Okay, without need for a roll, as you see all the chemical and mechanical bait, you know, the chemical putties that are put on the hook and the mechanical lures, but there is a large refrigerator, and it says out of order.
Ripping it open. It has to be in. There has to be something.
As
That
you,
hurts where all the baddies are hiding and we're about to get eaten.
as you open up the
Well,
out of
it's a door to another galaxy.
It's Narnia. As you open it up and look inside, you see 5 shotguns that are resting inside the refrigeration unit, and there is a tag on one of them.
Okay, read. What
Yep.
what does the tag say?
It's better to be fishers than fish.
Yeah, thanks, Zoe. Yeah, we're grabbing all of that. We're loading all of them quickly. Sarah, your
I'll
winner.
have one.
Chucking one over to her. Yeah.
Yep. Pass out
Running over to the
shotguns.
boys,
Is there anything else
passing.
in there?
It doesn't appear to be, and it appears
Could I
that
have grabbed some fishing line while I was searching through stuff too?
Yeah, like
absolutely.
like alarm.
Yep.
Thread.
Maybe-
Oh,
Tripwire.
very much needed. Exactly.
Is there
Plenty of stuff.
anything else inside the fridge?
There's nothing, but Sarah, because you have fired a shotgun before, I would like you to roll me a search roll as you look at it.
Okay.
Tell me they're not loaded.
Yeah, no, Sarah, as you look at it, you realize that each of these has 5 like shells loaded into the shotgun.
Oh,
It's not a double barrel or a fire.
Mhm.
The Winchester.
Yeah. However, Sarah, you see that there's something very strange about this shot, these shells, and as you examine one of them, several pieces of colored glass flick out of the end of the shell. And instead of having ball shot or quail shot or buckshot, it seems as if this shot is filled with shards of weighted and leaded colored glass.
Church window.
This is good. I will tell everyone. Guys,
Can
this is glass.
Can I take a shell? I
Is
want
it-
to open it up and examine the glass so I can see does it feel like glass of a window, or does it feel something different? Does it look
Like
different?
bottle glass. If it's
Yeah.
curved or
Maybe
not, yeah.
covered in something.
Yeah.
So can you try not
church
to
window?
destroy the shell though? Because
I'll do
We
my
only
best.
have so many.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
we
you
have
want
5
to,
shots each.
if you want to do
Let's
the
heard
shell,
it.
please be my guest because I have zero. You know.
no,
Really?
I have shot a shotgun. I haven't opened a shell before.
Or in that
Yeah,
case,
let's just leave it because 5 shots each. I'm sure it'll be fine.
But didn't you say that some glass came out of the first one as I was looking?
Some of
So
them-
you do have some glass that
Oh,
you
mhm.
look at.
I'll
Yeah,
use that.
without.
If you want to examine it specifically, go ahead and roll me a search as the
Okay.
seconds tick by.
Oh yeah, guys, we
my
had
eyes on
this
the
minutes
door.
like 3
Time.
minutes ago.
Is there a back room to this place?
There's a small office in the
Yeah.
back with a desk
I
and a
wanna
filing
check
cabinet.
in there to see if there's a small toolkit.
Roll me a search.
Okay.
I
Do we
wanna
want to
look
go
around
on?
Yeah, soon. I'm just looking for telescope rods because they will be a bit harder. So
Okay.
I'm trying to grab some of those for everyone. So that's pretty good to poke somebody or to bash their
Mhm.
face in. So let's take some of those because they're lightweight but pretty hard.
Yep.
Yep, you can find the
I'll just
telescopic rods. Yep, absolutely.
All of little telescopic rods and shotguns.
And some hooks, some sharp hooks, just
Mm-hmm.
like
Put them on the ends of the little bailey
Could-
claws.
if we can, and also we can like throw them. Well,
Mhm.
I would throw them straight into
Caltrops.
space. Yeah, caltrops,
hook
exactly.
caltrops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start going like, guys, we had 2 minutes, like 3
We have to
minutes
go. Yeah,
ago.
we have to
Yep.
go. We have to go.
In between while you all were doing this and finding the rods, Lindy, you search the back room and you find an area that must have had something in one of the drawers because you find another one of those comic cartoon vampires. But as you are getting ready to close it, you see a tackle box that's pushed off to the side of the desk. When you crack that open, you see inside 3 screwdrivers and a mallet.
Yep, taking those.
Whoop, whoop.
And real quick, as we're like, gotta go, I'm gonna take some fishing line. I'm gonna use a fish hook and just tack it in, like, wrap it around something to kind of leave a tripwire behind us as we're exiting out.
Okay.
Yeah, is there a
Eh.
second exit or is it just the main?
I imagine there's a back door.
Yeah,
There
'cause
is-
then
there
we
is a
should
back door,
definitely
yep.
trap the front door for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
just
trap
trapping
the
like
other
the
one
midway,
behind
like
us.
climb the door, but yeah.
Is there? So there was no other bait whatsoever.
Nope. This
No
is
other,
it.
yeah, no other live bait. No, and now there's
What
that.
about dead bait.
They have that chemical putty stuff that you
That'll
can.
do me. Okay. So I'm gonna get a tub, just put the chemical putty in,
That
and
stinks like
at
hell.
this
Can we
point,
make Molotov out of
at
it?
this point, I've got a fishing
think it's
bag, and
fine.
I've just been putting things. I put the shotgun in the fishing bag, got some fishing wire in the fishing bag. I've got like the putty stuff in the fishing bag.
All the wire.
I got the clubby thing. I've put that, kind of like. In
I put some putty in my pockets.
And
Actually-
I've taken quite a big container of this putty.
Wait a second. That's actually not a dumb idea. Let's rub ourselves with the bait a bit because in case
It
they have
stinks
supernatural
so
smell.
bad.
Well,
Yeah,
that,
but they're not gonna smell us.
They
But
might
the-
smell the
Yeah.
bait.
But if
That's
they know
why-
we smell like the bait, it'll be easier to track.
So
Oh,
I'm
Yeah,
find
but they
some
can
some
throw
cream,
it
anything.
left and right.
anyway. Let's go. Yes, at the back.
Yep.
Out the back you go, and everyone, as you walk outside the back, roll me a spot listen, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Hey, Greg.
Whoa.
I mean,
Lindy doesn't hear anything.
No, because you know what I'm doing? I'm taking 2 of those little fish clubs and I'm tying some fishing line between the 2 of them. So I can
Oh.
because I'm sure that'll work as you are setting yourself up for with your nunchucks. When the rest of you walk outside, no one succeeded enough to know what direction this comes from, but as you walk out, you hear the long. Did somebody have 2 successes?
Yeah.
yeah, I had.
Oh, I didn't see that. So, from behind you in the direction of the cemetery, Nergo, so it's the building behind you and then the cemetery up the hill, you hear a long...
It is werewolves.
Wolves.
Werewolves.
Who has silver?
Let's go.
I don't think glass is gonna do it.
Maybe it's coated in holy
If
water.
it's from a
Fuck knows.
church.
I don't know. Can
Yeah.
leaded silver. Maybe they don't like lead. Go.
Is
Oh, they
there,
definitely don't like lead. I'm pretty sure.
is there
I won't know too much
any-
about vampires.
how
Keep
we're
running.
on concrete, right?
You're on concrete. You've just walked out into an alley that does not have a row of buildings behind it. There are several dumpsters that are back here for trash collection, and then it immediately goes into a lawn for a church. The only reason why you know it's a church is because you can see the steeple poking up. You can't see the body of the church itself because it is ringed with what looks to be at least 8 cars high and perhaps 2 cars deep, stacked vehicles that form some type of barricade around this structure.
Technically safe, but technically also trapping ourselves.
Okay.
I mean,
And she said,
If it's
don't think
werewolf.
as your species, and we're being
Yeah.
hunted by werewolves.
Think
Should
like a
we-
dog.
Just
like a dog, that
running
was about
is
to
not gonna
say.
be good.
Yeah,
Technically,
we're gonna
we
be
wanna-
outrun really quickly. What can
Mhm.
we do?
What
Get rid
what
of
if
our
we do
scent.
like this Roman
Scent.
military
Scent is a good one.
I think
Mhm.
we gotta
approach.
get rid of our scent.
a pincher attack, if anything?
Mhm.
Because she doesn't want us to be the bait. She probably wants us to be more offensive rather than defensive. I don't think the church is necessarily a good place to stake out.
Church isn't necessarily a bad place either.
I'm gonna go to
How
some
far? Yeah, how
Are they
far
I'm gonna go
from
to
the
some
vulnerable
vehicles?
to? Are they vulnerable to holy water? Does anybody know? I only know silver.
We don't know they're a myth.
Werewolves, we're assuming, or just dogs. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna do is
I-
find some mud and smear myself in mud to get rid of my scent.
I
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I've
same.
been looking
I'll
for,
be
yeah.
with Tom. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, Linda, you missed a spot.
Oh, thanks. Here, you too.
Well, hold on. I will say this. You can't find any ready-made mud. However, this is as described in the narrative, there's plenty of, like, dumpster debris at the bottom that's like slime and it looks like mud, but you know this is more like liquefied trash.
Uh-huh.
That's the closest you can find.
All right, so you got
I
to
find a
From
banana
From
peel.
all
from the
all this.
I'm looking for banana peel at most.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm
I'm
gonna
rubbing that in.
myself in it. It's gonna be gross. I'm gonna stink, but I'll smear myself in it.
I'm not doing that.
I think the
How
garbage
far-
is more potent than me. So,
How far
Maybe
are we
it's not.
from the?
but I
vehicle?
will just get some dust, some dirt on me, because even that'll help a little bit.
Sure.
Anything
Uh,
to
Try that as well.
well.
Hang on. Before I do this, if everyone isn't doing it, there's no point in one of us doing it because they're gonna catch us.
I mean-
So everyone has to do it, or none of
Tom turns around.
I'm
All
already,
right,
like-
everybody, covered in shit. He's like,
I mean,
We all step back.
This is bad enough. I'm not doing that.
okay. To
If
answer
we
your
get a
question,
wound,
Sarah,
this is going to
Yeah.
kill us.
to answer your question, Sarah, you are about 20 yards away, from this wall of cars. So
Because what
You know-
I thought was maybe we can go there, not to get into the church, but there might be petro in some of them that
Oh,
could give
yeah.
us molotovs, that could give us a full explosion. Or, not a great idea, but I'm going to throw it out anyway, we could cover ourselves in petro.
Ah, no.
I
I
love
mean,
that idea.
dogs
But we
really
need,
hate that smell.
Like, molotov and so.
True, they do hate it.
I actually find the idea of covering myself in petrol less bad.
Less
than
than the
The
garbage.
trash, yeah. True.
Not gonna lie.
Did sorry, Greg. When we heard the wolf howl, how many howls did we hear?
You heard one.
Just
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah.
heard one, yeah.
So there's this wall of cars. What else is in the vicinity?
As you look, it seems that if this is indeed a church with the steeple and this wall, this fort of cars around it, it seems as if the road proper that would have gone beside the bait shop up towards the cemetery goes down a grade, and you can see the town below a bit, but
Okay.
it's obscured a bit.
We're like on the outskirts.
You're in the middle of town, but you're on the top of a hill.
Okay.
And you're on kind of like the blind side of it. You're not at the apex of the hill
Okay,
yet.
well, if there's a wall of cars, maybe there's one that's not a part of the wall nearby that they were like, we already fill up. So
Yeah.
that could be useful. So let's.
But also being on a higher point is better for defending.
Yeah,
There's
maybe
a
we
reason castles
do
are-
want to go in.
I think we should go in, because if this is a wolf of some time, it's going to run after us. It's quicker than us. It's stronger than us, and it
Yep.
can hunt us down. I say we back to the wall, let it come at us, and
I mean,
Yep.
we could
one
all
direction,
find-
one entrance, and
Everybody roll a spot
We
listen
set
for
on
me.
fire.
Yep.
We can try. Yeah, set on fire. Exactly. That's what I've been thinking.
Oh God.
Whoa. Oh.
So I think we're headed towards the wall of cars quietly.
Tom and Lindy,
Mhm.
you don't hear it right away, and it's almost as if it gets obscured with your discussion that you're all having, but it takes a couple beats for both Lindy and Tom. 1, 2, 3. Was that the bell? And you hear that twinkling sound as the door closes in the shop that you just left.
Okay, well, I'm real glad I put that trip wire in
go,
there.
let's go,
I'm
let's
just gonna go,
yeah, we head to the church.
and then we're gonna quietly go to the church.
You can roll me some stealth, though.
Okay.
You're all going there quite quietly and fairly quickly, and it's just the hesitancy of steps in a foreign place, the purposely being quiet where your heart sounds like thunder, and every step that you take on gravel sounds like you're tap dancing on explosives. It's that increased caution, Sarah, that causes you to kind of, as you're watching your step, you look back behind, turn back in time just to catch the curb the wrong way as you clatter to the ground, your shotgun in front of you as it kind of pushes out and bounces off some of the houses as the five of you stop. And Sarah, you're on your knees as you look around. What do you all want to do in this moment?
I want to go and grab and help her up to her feet and then rush her towards the church.
Okay.
I want to
Yeah, I
reach for
think-
the shotgun. I dropped it.
I think
No, we're
stealth's
not
out,
leaving that.
stealth's out of the option now. Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody get on one of the cars in a sniper position, just in case. Just saying
I'm
that.
reaching
Somebody
for
go
my
and snipe.
shotgun and trying to get up.
Now, are these cars
I wanna
Right
go-
in.
They're stacked on top of each other, but are they like, is the bottom row crushed from the weight, or are they kind of just
Are they like
chilling on top of each other?
Strange.
destroyed?
Yeah, some of them are crushed as far as like the roof is into the driver's side, but many of them, and when you get closer, I'll tell you this, those of you that are going to them, you'll see that not only are they supporting one another, there seems to be space in between them. Like if you opened a passenger side door
That's
on
what I was
one,
thinking
you
to
could-
slide through.
Yep,
Yeah.
and once whoever gets there close and looks through without the need for a roll, when you look into one of the cars that's up high enough, it's not crushed, you can see that not only can you make it through, but that this is 3 cars deep, it looks as if. So this ring, you would have to crawl through several cars, presumably to get to whatever vacant or voided space is behind this structure.
Do it.
But
Yep,
I need to
I'm
know.
going for it.
Okay,
Yes,
so
get through.
Lindy's still going for the structure. Tom's still going for the structure. Matthias, what are you doing?
Yeah, I follow them as well.
Okay. And then Aya, you turn around and pick up Sarah. Sarah, you pick up your gun. And so as the two of you pull up, you see the back door of the bait shop explode open. And standing there is a well-dressed man with slick-backed hair, and the very fine suit that he is wearing seems to have holes in both knees. He straightens his tie regardless. The face claim of this individual is Christian Bale, circa American
Love it.
Psycho.
Of course it is.
And he stands there and moves his neck a bit as he begins to walk towards the two of you with his hands in his pockets. Well,
I immediately
well.
load that shotgun.
There's Count Chocula. Run!
Okay, so Aya, you're running,
sprint,
and then
full
Sarah, are
sprint.
you running or preparing to fight? What are you doing?
I can actually load it with one hand. Can I try to do both?
You're going to try to shoot and run, running fight?
No, not shoot. I just want to
But
load,
load
it.
and
like,
run.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to do like a Schwarzenegger or,
Yeah. I can
okay.
actually do that.
Okay, go ahead and just roll me here a, let's see, what best encapsulates this one? Actually, do me a composure. This doesn't count against you if you fail. This is just, can you keep your calm together as you do it? All right, so anybody that looks back sees the following. As you look back, you see Sarah see this guy come out and he cracks his neck. Well, Sarah begins to run and cocks the shotgun perfectly as it, Hollywood would envy both the Foley sound that this creates and the very image that it evokes. As Sarah, you do in fact load the shotgun and maintain full movement speed as you and Aya are running. I'm going to cut ahead to Matthias, Lindy, and Tom. You are at the wall. You see this guy coming. You can all hear him say, well, you found weapons. How quaint. And it's at this point you can see that there is blood from his lower lip down his jaw and dripping along his collar. And he's beginning to move faster.
I catch a slight case of the vapors, but I keep it together.
Damn it, Lindy, this is not the time. I open the one door of the thing so people can get through. I said, someone in, go.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go in.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
Lindy's in
Lindy.
first.
I'm small, so I figure I'd be
Yeah.
one of the better people to send through first, so I can
Go
small
quick.
and nimble.
Okay. Nurgo, are you jumping in after
Yeah, I'm
Lindy?
going.
Okay. Tom, you're going to have to wait a bit because Sarah and Aya are a few steps behind. Are you entering or are you just holding the door open?
Oh, well, do I have to hold the door open? Can I just hold it? Is it? So I open that one and then I go to another car and open that one. So we got 2 entrances to go in.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I'm still outside. I'm not actually going in yet. I'm waiting for the other 2.
Yep, that's what I wanted. Yeah, so you're jumping in, you're holding standing guard as there are 2 entrances here. So as this is going, I would like everybody that's running, Aya, Sarah, I would like you to turn your attention to the character sheet where it says speed dice. I would like you to select 1 and push the blue square. I will be doing the same thing.
What?
Low is good.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
good. It's good.
Oh,
It's
okay.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Going
forgot.
fast.
Low is very good. So
That's good.
Aya, you're able to reach the cars first. You see that Tom has opened up a door to the left and a door to the right. He is
I'm
standing
shouting.
by. Yeah.
Left.
Okay. You jump into the
Lunging.
one that Nurgo and Lindy went
Lunging.
into. You're lunging.
Lunging.
I'm sorry. Flying into the car. As you spring and fly into the car, next up, as Sarah comes in, Sarah, you have your choice. Are you following Aya into the left-hand side or going into the right?
I'm
Tom
going
is
into the
standing
right.
beside the. Okay, you jump in. Tom, you see the two of them lunge into the car, and as they,
behind you.
Tom, you're the last one here as Mr. Bale is now within about 15 feet and moving too quickly
Okay.
for someone that should be walking.
Okay, so I'm going to use hopefully what my agility that I'm pretty quick. So I shut one door and then I literally just kind of jump up and slide myself in and shut and then crawl as quick as I can to get through. So
Okay.
I'm quite a small person. I'm not a very big.
We'll try and
5'7".
pull him on the other side if we get out first.
Which one are you going into, Tom? The one you opened up
The
first?
right.
And you're
The
going in, you're
second.
following Sarah. Okay, so Sarah is first, Tom is second, then Lindy, Nurgo, and Aya in the left-hand side tunnel as you begin to crawl. So, Tom, because that was the specialty that you gave me, you are able to do just that as you close the door and, like Dukes of Hazzard yourself into the window and begin to crawl. However, I would like from my point people, being Sarah and Lindy, I would like a balance roll as you begin to make yourself through this twisted metal maze.
Should be pretty fun.
Okay, Sarah, you can feel Tom right behind you as he slides in, and as you start to climb through, you see that you go from the driver's well, where the steering wheel is, through the window into the next car's driver's side well. You get over to the passenger door and start to open it when you see a wall of metal. And when you turn, you realize that the back window, there is a way out. But for a second, you are kind of at this impasse. Tom, you reach Sarah as you hit here. Lindy, you are able to continue to make it through, not quickly, but fast enough. I need, Nurgo, I need you to roll a balance roll as you are also a part of this chain.
Okay.
For a second, as Lindy, as you're making your way, trying to pick which one, you would think that there can't be too many selections when going from one car to another. It's because of this odd, twisted, dark area that you're getting mixed up. You're going into a part of the car that has no exit, having to double back. And the two of you kind of bump into each other for a second as Aya, you are now with them inside this one car as you all look around and see that the way forward is actually through the front window, and you begin to climb and look around. At this point, I would like my people behind to roll a very interesting roll, as I would like you to roll an expression, Tom, and an expression, Aya, as we're going to see which way Christian decides to go.
Oh. Oh no.
You got the right car, Sarah. You got the right car.
So as
And I've
everybody's
got a loaded shotgun.
as you're all climbing through here, Tom, you kind of crash into Sarah as the two of you get back through here, and you start moving, and you're moving through there. But before we're at that section where Lindy and Nurgo and Aya kind of met in the front hood there and saw through the front window. Lindy, as you turn and look back at Aya and Nurgo, you see Christian Bale reach through and grab, and I want a dodge roll from Nurgo and Aya. You see this hand grab hold of Nurgo's throat as Matthias is pulled back out of the car, and you see him just rip him out. And as he does so, Matthias, as your hands are out like this, your one forearm catches on a piece of metal that's broken from this compaction, and you take 2 wounds as it rips through the cloth and basically destroys your forearm on your left forearm as it just rips, and the blood begins to drip, and Christian's face lengthens and his teeth descend as he licks his lips that are already smeared, the lower half, with blood. Sarah, Tom, it's smooth sailing. Everything's looking good. You all see ahead of you that there is a way you see the semi-brighter nature of the night, the fresh air behind you. Smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Looking good. I need to know. So you all are going to climb on through, but I need to know what Lindy and Aya are doing as Nurgo's being ripped backwards.
Yeah, so how, like, far back is he being ripped?
And how far is Sarah?
Sarah and Tom are several crushed cars
Okay.
away. You can't see them.
Okay.
But Nurgo's being pulled back, so it looks as if Christian intends to pull him free of the car wall entirely.
Oh, okay.
He's like pulling him
So
back
Christian
and not
Bale's
stopping.
outside of stabby distance, is what you're saying.
No one's outside of stabby distance.
Oh, well,
But-
Especially not with
immediate-
telescope rods.
immediate vicinity stabby distance? Like, would I have to move?
You would have to go back to get to him, yeah.
I'm gonna keep opening car doors.
Okay, Lindy ignores the fact that somebody's been... No, I'm joking.
Yeah, well, we do have another person in here, and I'm in the front, and if we save him, but we still have nowhere to go,
Right.
we're all
So-
gonna get eaten, so...
Sure. The logic of the survivor. And Lindy, roll me a balance as you look forward.
Oh, man. Sure, yeah.
Again, you hit one of those deadfalls as you climb through the front and you see that it's packed, and now you see it from this angle. It's back through the passenger side or the rear window by the driver. That's the way through. You can see that it doubles around, so you have to go back through.
Okay.
Your movement will get you through this kind of sequence. It just, you don't progress beyond the car. You're still
Okay.
within this arena. Aya, what would you like to do?
I have us access to the next car, so...
You do. Yeah, you found a way through to the next one.
I want to do kind of a combination. I want to keep crawling backwards to get further away, but I want to load the shotgun at the same time and get it up against my shoulder at least, because I doubt I can fire a shot at the same time, but at least get it ready.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say you can go ahead and fire the shotgun if you'd like to.
Definitely aiming at his head, firing. I mean, this is not a bow, but sights are nothing new to me, so...
Okay, so
Don't
Waiting for
forget,
recoil.
guys, you have auto successes still. Don't forget those.
right.
Yeah.
So with the auto success in mind and the fact that a shotgun is not a finesse weapon,
I know.
and further that Nurgo is being pulled back towards Christian Bale, I just want to set the stage before I ask you
know.
exactly what you do.
I know.
Don't hit me.
I want to try and shout at him like, brace at least. Try and get something in front of your face. But I know he's gonna be
him?
dead if I don't intervene in some way, and
Yeah, he
at
dies or
least
he dies.
get Bale to maybe let go of him for a second so he can get some movement back. So I am going to shoot.
Aya, here is my devil's bargain.
Okay.
I will allow you to take Nurgo out of the equation
Okay.
by going back towards this scenario and basically putting the gun past Nurgo and
Into his face.
into Bale's face. That, however, will put you into proximity with Christian.
I'm fine with proximity, but I'm going to take my auto success.
Okay,
Well,
I
that
like
is-
how you actually have something to
That's
physically
amazing.
Have a coin,
represent.
campaign
That's
coin.
amazing.
No, it's really cool because you have a 20 and a 1. Sarah has one of these because I got a collection
I
and I
do.
gave one to all of them.
Oh, fantastic,
Reminder.
fantastic.
I'm using it.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so as you indicate this and as you take your shot, I would like you have 5 successes, but just to see if we can maybe get a little bit, they won't count against you. Even if you get failures, they don't count against you.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll me a firearms long gun just to see, because if something's great, then it could be...
I mean, a shotgun's
Blowing
an
his
awful
head
lot
off.
like a bow, right? Yeah, sure.
I'm putting it in his mouth. For sure.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yes!
2 more
7
successes
successes.
for a total of 7 successes. So I don't say what happens here. I ask Aya, you get that gun and jam it into the bloodstained mouth of Christian Bale, and the story is yours to pen. What happens?
Well, I do shoulder it for the week. I'll shove it really deep into his mum and be like, motherfucker, it's time for cereal is over. Pull the trigger. And blow his motherfucking head off.
Okay, and that is exactly what happens. For a second, when you jam in the shotgun, you can actually see him smile around the barrel as if this can't hurt. And before that thought is finished, the shattered remains of the lead and stained glass of St. Peter's Cathedral blasts through the back of his head as he learns very quickly he's not immortal to everything. And as his head blasts back, Nurgo, you're being pulled back until you're not. Now, there's a rip away from your throat, but as you turn and look back, bits of the glass and the gore that was Christian Bale and his killer drop to your shoulder, and you're the one that has the best shot of him exiting the tunnel of cars at a terminal velocity.
Peace out.
Yeah, I am giving him my goodbyes as well. So I try to shoot with my non-ripped apart hand and give him the last rites.
Okay. Okay, you're taking just like an extra fuck you shot. Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Yeah, double tap.
Yeah, you're gonna double tap it. Roll me the firearms long gun as you fire your shotgun off too.
Yeah.
He's already kind of out, but you're still able to shoot mother, and you just take that shot. It's enough. You think it's enough, and there is no movement. And much like the tunnel of Sarah and Tom, the way forward and the way behind are now clear. And
Shut those doors behind you guys, and I'm gonna keep going. I'd also like to shed a tear for Christian Bale and leave every one of the little pictures we found of the vampires. I'll shed a tear and leave that on the seat as we continue forward.
I'm covered in vampire guts.
Sorry. Had to be. I mean, you're alive for now.
How are you feeling?
My arm. Oh, it hurts quite
Looks
a bit.
pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Okay.
Got some screwdrivers and a mallet.
We need to.
Don't think we can fix it.
We need to wrap it up, but.
Well, maybe it was a vampire, and I licked basically the blood. So...
Let's test it.
Yeah, it certainly tastes like vampire blood. Okay.
I wouldn't do that.
I would.
You all pull yourselves out into what has become, or what has been made into a courtyard for this church. As you look, there's a sign out front that names it Emmanuel Episcopal Church, and inside, the wall of cars, if possible, even looks more forbidding, as it's this kind of curve around you now, just giving you a glimpse of the sky above and the church behind. Roll me spot listens, everybody, as you enter this new space.
Spreading.
Okay, a lot of people are understandably concerned about what has just transpired.
I got 1 degree of success. I'm good.
Adrenaline.
Lindy, as you look out, you see that one section of the cars appears to have been collapsed. It seems to have fallen down and slid a bit. It's still several high, just not as high as the others. There's a dip in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the first to notice, too, that the doors to the cathedral or the church, they're open.
Okay. Like, some collapsed cars, church doors open, but vampires don't like churches. So, take a peek.
Well, I don't know. It depends on the church, depends on the vampire.
I mean, Episcopalian's pretty, it's like Catholic light, so we'll be fine, right?
Tripwire, regardless.
Yep, tripwire.
The whole
Pull up my
fucking
fishing wire.
Ideally, like, let's do Resident Evil kind of net thing if we, as much as we can.
Sure. I got a
Have we actually looked inside?
Nope, gotta look
Nope,
in.
bad.
I wanna just try to approach quietly to the church.
I'm going to try to approach quietly as
Yeah,
well.
you
Are
three.
the windows on the sides of the church stained glass, or are they?
And how
regular?
high?
They do seem to be stained glass, and they
Okay,
are a
so-
good 15 feet high.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So it can't peek in through the windows. It's gotta be through the door. All right, just peek in.
But something can come through if it can fly.
As you
I want
look-
to have my shotgun at the ready too.
Don't stand close to the windows. Stay central.
Yep, as you creep forward, if you're creeping forward, roll me a stealth. And once you, regardless of what you receive for your stealth, if you're peeking in, roll me a spot listen.
Oh, stealth.
Lot of red.
I mean, we don't have very much green here, apparently. So.
Well, you know, everybody
Grass
thinks
is not greener on the other side.
you believe. Everyone believes, much like Sarah believed that she was hidden before. You all believe that you are quiet as you approach the Emmanuel Episcopal Church, but Lindy,
I
as
mean, I don't. We just shotguns.
right. Yeah, your ears are still pretty much destroyed for those of you that were in
it
that
was
space.
right next to my.
Echoed.
Ringing.
Lindy, as you look into the front of the church, you see that it's predominantly empty. And I say predominantly
Yeah.
because there looks to be two figures, one on each side of the pews, you know, one on the right-hand section and one on the left-hand section, that are sitting and seem to be looking towards the front.
I'm gonna relay this info.
Linda,
Something about them seems very familiar.
There's two familiar people, very familiar people sitting in
Did they
pews
look
in the
like
front of the
Christian
church.
Bale?
They don't look like Christian Bale.
Do they look like other actors?
I don't know.
They're familiar, so
Right, how
Did
about
they
this?
Should we
How
back
about
out
this?
and block
Okay.
it?
I'll move in. I can get out there the quickest.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Okay.
Try and talk to them. You cover me, yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll play it
You
cool.
wanna take this back.
My improv nunchucks.
Right, just make sure there's enough space for you to run out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Just go down and we shoot.
as Tom
Maybe
creeps
you
forward,
could go around to see if there's a back entrance or back way. That way, in case you hear us, we'll scream if something goes wrong, and y'all can just book it.
I would prefer someone still at the entrance looking for
Okay.
me.
I'll be there.
Spotter.
And I
Okay, cool.
just
Yes.
like to remind everyone that keeps saying we'll just shoot it. We don't have endless bullets,
We don't.
We always
and I
need
don't know where to
them.
get any more.
And these could be friendly. I mean, they could
They
be
could be
just
friendly. They could be
surviving.
allies. That's why we gotta check.
Yeah.
They look familiar. So
I'm
it's
gonna
either
cover Tom.
another famous
Thank
actor
you.
vampire.
Yeah.
Could
So
be.
look
We know.
around. There's maybe candle fire sources. Anything I can maybe grab.
there are two lit candles up ahead on the altar, but everything
Mhm.
else is in shadow. No electric light either.
So just that as a light source.
Mm-hmm.
Just that. Now, the night is clear and there's a full moon, so you have a lot of ambient light around here. So, Nurgo, where are you and what are you doing? I know that, Sarah, you've positioned yourself at the main entrance as Tom goes in. Lindy, Nurgo, and Aya, where exactly are you all hanging out in relation to Tom and Sarah?
I'm gonna kneel next to Sarah to cover, like, keep an eye on the lower level of the cars in around. the
Okay,
fort.
you're looking back towards the fort while she looks inside. Gotcha, okay.
I'm on an adrenaline high. I already killed one. Bring it on.
In spectacular fashion, right?
Famous last word.
Already killed one.
Already killed
Oh.
one. Okay.
I want to be about 15 feet behind Tom, so that if he starts running, I won't get in his way. If I need to turn and run with him.
Okay, so you're going in as well?
Mm-hmm. I'll
And-
go in with him, but 15 feet behind, so I don't.
Gotcha.
Way.
I go to the other side of the door, basically.
Okay.
Peek in that way.
Okay, so Nurgo and Sarah, you're facing inwards, kind of giving cover. Tom is going in the furthest with Lindy 15 feet behind. And Aya, you're kneeling down, facing back towards the wall of cars as an almost rear guard type of situation.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I would like Tom to roll me and Lindy to roll me a spot listen as you creep forwards into the church. Boom.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Tom, you're the first to see it, and it's a profile that bleeds into full recognition. But as you get forward, you see that in the right-hand pew sits Charlie. And in the left-hand side or pew sits Grant.
Charlie? Grant?
I didn't watch the previous episodes. I don't know.
I know what
I
happened.
didn't either.
I personally know what happened with Charlie and Susie.
What happened to Susie? Because Susie's been talking about it.
Well, I don't know if I know, but in the,
Yeah.
but I
No,
know.
we don't know in
Okay.
game. I know meta.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
yeah, I go Charlie.
Grant.
They both don't turn, but they both bring their fingers up to their lips and go, shh.
I'm gonna
Out of character.
slowly go forward.
You
I've
creep
got my
forward.
shotgun out, and it's cocked already, so I don't have to make noise in it. So, I'll just
Okay, so you creep beyond Charlie, Tom, as you're heading towards the front of the church now.
I'll get closer, but I won't go. I want to be behind Charlie and Grant still, just in
Okay.
case. Like,
So you hit the border of Charlie and Grant's kind of influence as, Tom, you go further in, now 15, 20, 25, 30 feet away from Lindy. Nurgo and Sarah, you two are looking in. I'd like you to be the ones that roll the spot hiddens here. And Aya, you can give me a spot hidden as well, or spot listen.
Okay.
All clear behind. As
Son of a bitch.
as Sarah and Nurgo, as the two of you look in, you're the first ones to see that at the top of this large ceilinged cathedral, there is a... And when, Nurgo, when you look up, you see that the entire ceiling, I mean the entire ceiling, seems to be moving.
I'm immediately like whisper shouting, "Come back! Come back! Come back!" And I point up. And I point up.
Tom and Lindy, roll a spot listen for me to see if the stage whisper reaches your ears.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Lindy, you don't hear a thing.
I'm too busy. Like, I don't want to have to shoot Grant or Charlie, but I will if I have to. I'm giving myself like a mental pep talk. I'm just like.
Tom, you hear as you're almost at the steps that lead up to the altar. As you're creeping forward, you hear the Nurgo, no, turn around. And as you kind of turn to look, a door opens on the side of the altar, and you see a slender form with the hood drawn completely up walk into the space and take position at the altar. The hooded form turns and looks directly at you, Tom. Aya, make a dodge roll for me, please.
Oh, it said famous last words.
Bale's back.
Okay.
And he's pissed.
I think he was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hold on, I'm getting my stuff fired
It's
back
not
up
my
here.
worst roll.
No, it's green.
It's pretty
It's
That's
green.
great.
1 degree
Good.
of success. So that's good.
You're not sure what makes you move your head to the right, Aya, but as you just move your head a bit, there is a thud as a huge piece of rebar inside the wooden frame of the door. Nurgo and Sarah, you both hear that sound as this piece of metal pierces stone and wood. And as you turn around and look, you see coming forward a more beast than the face of the creature. It's very long and slender, but the face is distended a bit, almost as if it has a muzzle. And then as quickly as this canine bestial features presents itself, it sucks back in, and you see a figure that looks, face claim Miley Cyrus, walking towards you with tattoos down both arms, tattoos that extend from hips and thighs down to ankles, as she kind of creeps and begins to move around you for a second, looking at the weapons you wield, and then dismissing it as she leaps. I need speed dice from Nurgo, Aya, and Sarah, please.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Really bad.
Oh
Hey,
no
at least Nurgo has his auto success.
Doesn't work on speed. Nurgo, as you see all of this happening, you have a chance to do something. What would you like to do?
I try to use my. Can I use my auto success and shoot?
You absolutely can, which is automatically going to hit. However, I will say the same thing that I said to go ahead and roll me a firearms long gun to see if we add anything to it. It can't take anything away from it.
So yeah. Yeah.
It's a good thing. Right. So what I'd like you to do is, on the damage dice, I'd like you to click it up to 3 and then hit the red square.
Okay.
Is that a lot?
So with an explosion that rocks as Nurgo, you fire out your stained glass shot, it rips into the side of Miley as it takes most of her right arm and the tattoos held on it away from her frame. She emits a scream that sounds way more like the charging of a great cat. It's a roar, it's a growl, it's primordial as she looks down at her severed appendage, and she turns back around as her face again takes on that distended and stretched look, and she leaps at you for your terrible, terrible pain that you've caused her. She fails, so she will be taking away from this 2 damage no matter what she rolls. So 7 damage, Nurgo, as she lands and slashes with her only remaining arm across your chest. This is going to give you an injury. Your injury is as follows. As she swipes and catches you, it drives you into that piece of rebar. It pierces your leg, and you are now nailed to the church. As you turn around and you realize that the pain is intense, but you are also secured to the church itself. My other friends that are outside, this is now going to Aya and Sarah. What would you like to do? Sarah first.
I'm not gonna run. I'm going to. No, I'm going to. I've got my shotgun ready. It's in my hand. He just shot her. I'm gonna shoot her again. Yeah, they're close to the door, right?
They are. They're right up on. Miley is right in the middle of you all now.
Okay, so I'm going to try to shoot her and try to step back towards the cars again.
Okay. Are you going to use your auto success, or are you going to take your shot? Okay, I will remind you, as I reminded Aya, this is a scatter weapon. And so to do this, you're going to take a shot knowing that Nurgo is nailed to the church. Aya is in the vicinity. Stained glass isn't buckshot, but I can't imagine it feels great coming at high speeds. That's my warning. Fire away.
I apologize in advance.
Fine.
It's
survived the first one.
firearms long, right?
Yes, firearms long. Yep, firearms long.
I apologized already. I'll do it again. So sorry, guys.
I would like you to roll for me 3 damage dice, please. 3 red squares. Oof. Okay, so with 3 degrees of success, or 3 degrees of failure, everything breaks down as follows. We are going to have... Actually, let's do it like... No, you can't dodge, Nurgo, I'm sorry. So, Nurgo, you get hit with 4 additional damage as it slams into you, bouncing you off of the wooden frame. Aya, you're going to take 3 damage as you take some of the shot, and the creature is going to take 2 damage, and they are still up. They are not happy, though, as now in that stretched face is the glint of the stained glass. One eye appears to have been ruined by the shot, but Sarah, you have the way open, it appears, back towards the cars. Then there's a bit of a cluster F in front of the church, and of course something going on inside, which we'll get to in a second. But I need to ask Aya, as soon as you take that shot and you feel that rip of pain, what do you do?
Well, thankfully it's gonna hit my right shoulder, and I'm left-handed.
Good.
Question would be, would I have had, or would I now have time to reload the shotgun? It's fine,
Absolutely. Yeah, you can absolutely have time to reload. I'm not going to say that that's an action or anything. You can...
Otherwise, we'll just smack you with it.
Right.
So this game damaged with it one way or another. So I would try to shoot at her and follow Sarah if I can, because in case I got a glimpse of what's inside, I'm not getting in there.
Sure. So again, I will remind you that you don't have an auto success, and that a shotgun is a spray. Go ahead and shoot.
Oh, Matthias, I mean, Jesus.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. So much sorry.
So with 5 degrees of failure,
Like,
here's what
apology
happens.
scatter spray.
Right.
It's a Canadian shotgun.
Right. Here's what it apologizes. As you go to shoot Miley, at the last second, she reaches out with her remaining hand, grabs the barrel, and pushes it directly into Matthias as you pull the gun and fire. And Matthias, the last thing you see and feel is the explosion of stained glass into your back as you slump down against the frame and your body swivels on the rebar and you crash to the side, your one leg still hiked up at the level the rebar went into, as the life drains from Nurgo's eyes.
Last thing you heard was, sorry.
Yeah.
Aya, you can run towards the car, but that shotgun, much like the limbs of the bride when she fought the Crazy 88, now belongs to her.
Oh.
So if you run, you gotta leave your shotgun.
Yeah, but I'll probably have the backup ammunition still in my pocket. That's fine. She can have it. But I'm grabbing one of the telescope rods.
Okay, as you begin to run, Sarah, you saw the end of Matthias and all this is going down, and we're gonna pause action because things have been happening inside the church during this, this Antietam-esque exchange outside. As we go inside, and Tom, as you see the figure look at you, you now for the first time hear the Lindy, you look up. I need you, Lindy, to roll me a dodge roll. This isn't the baddie bats.
Oh.
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh no, I'm distracted by how cute they are.
As you look up, you feel a hand descend on your wrist, and as you turn, you see Charlie has a hold of your wrist, and it is only now that you realize that at each of her joints, her mouth, her one side of her eye, are these very broad and very calloused stitches, as if she has been put back together from some fate that has befallen her recently. One eye is completely white, the other is a brilliant and glowing red, as she holds on to your wrist and begins to squeeze. I would like you to take 3 damage as you feel your wrist break.
Oh.
Ow.
Oh. Son of...
Tom, I need you to make a dodge roll too.
Oh no.
No. I believe. No. Oh, come on.
Somehow, and you're not sure how this happens, but the smell of bacon fat hits you a second before the arms of Grant wrap around you and pull your arms to your sides as he hugs you from behind and lifts you off the ground. From this area, this is Grant, everybody. Grant is wearing his underwear and nothing else. He is covered in what looks like bacon fat, and he has the gray pallor of a ghoul, and he is holding with wide jaundiced eyes aloft Tom. Tom, I'm going to make a devil's bargain with you.
Go on.
Because, and I told Grant this, because he is covered in bacon grease, he is quite slick.
Yeah.
I will allow you to escape, but you, much like Aya had before, will have to leave your shotgun behind because it is pinned against you.
I don't have my shotgun. I left the bag at the entrance with my shotgun and thing. All I have is the thing that you hit fishes with.
You have to leave that then.
I shouldn't have said that. I should have said, yeah, I got my shotgun.
Right. I love you for doing that. And so, yeah, whatever you're holding, you basically have to leave behind.
Okay. I'm happy to leave that. I'm happy to leave that behind and kind of slide down.
As you slide through and pop to the ground, Grant kind of, as he doesn't have you in his arms anymore, and he clatters the telescopic rod to the side as he turns and begins to look. And Lindy, what are you going to do to try to free yourself from Charlie's grasp?
Well, thankfully, Greg, I have done some martial arts, and even with a broken wrist, I'm still going to try to get in with my elbow and break that hold. And then she said to shush, and there are a lot of bats, so I don't know if I should do a shotgun. Has the big hubbub by the entrance happened yet? Have we heard kapow, kapow, kapow?
Not yet.
Okay.
A lot of
It's going too soon anyways. What the fuck? Come on. And so I'll get the shotgun, and my wrist is broken, but I'll steady it on my other arm.
Okay.
I'll put it in the shoulder,
Sure.
Steady it and right in Charlie. With my auto success. Sorry, Charlie.
Okay, so at point blank, roll me 3d6 red die, and we'll see what happens to Charlie.
Oh, you don't want me to roll for see if I get any extra successes?
Oh yeah, absolutely, you can.
Okay. No. Okay. So 3 red die.
Yep.
8.
So with 8, you're able to blast her off of you. She kind of smears back in the pew a bit, but as she pulls away, she does another damage to you as it kind of rips and pulls at your already shattered wrist. And you're able to pull yourself away, and just as you do so, this is just as Tom frees himself from Grant, the two of you look up, and the figure behind the altar raises her hands, pulls back the hood, revealing Susanna.
Susie!
As she lifts her arms, and the 300 bats above descend and begin to swirl among you inside the church. Here's how we're going to play this. Lindy, you have 1 health. Tom, you have 5. Lindy, I am going to need a dodge roll from you.
Okay.
Tom, I'm going to need a dodge roll from you as well, and then I need a direction in which you're dodging.
Okay. Come on. Can I? I'm going to use the auto. Can I use an auto success after I've rolled?
I'll take it, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Auto success it.
Okay, so Tom, you begin to run as roll me. Oh, that's your dodge roll anyway.
That's it,
So
yeah.
So as you run, and as these things begin to swirl like a maelstrom behind you from the front of the church, there's a ka-ka. Yes, shots begin to ring out. Lindy, you turn and start to run as well, but this wave of cyclonic bats is getting close as Susanna directs them towards you all. I need another dodge roll from Lindy as they seem to all be going at you.
All at me?
Well, Susie likes me, so.
Yeah, well, Susie likes
she?
likes me too.
So she says.
I wasn't running out of the church, Greg.
Oh, where were you running?
If Susie looks like a super badass, awesome vampire chick controlling swarms of bats, I'm running to Susie.
Oh,
Okay, then roll me a dodge as you meet the bats head on.
That's what that initial dodge roll was for. Is to be like, Susie, let me join you.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Susie turned me into a vampire.
Lindy, you hit the bats as they hit you. Tom, as you run and witness this with the blasts going off in front of you, you watch as the bats, almost like piranha or airborne buzzsaws, strip the flesh from Lindy's bones as you see just pieces of white as it swirls around, and there is a clatter of bones on flagstones. And screwdrivers and a mallet mere seconds later, as everything that was Lindy has been reduced to Lindy Light, which is bones.
I had to give it a go.
Yep.
So close.
And it begins to, you see Susanna redirect the swirl of airborne piranha as she sends it towards you. Everybody living, which is Aya, Sarah, and Tom, I need you to make me a composure roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
You want to have the best one here.
There's winged piranhas.
no.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Tom, you run and jump out of the front of the building. Again, I always make fun of Michael Bay because he deserves it. As you jump out, instead of an explosion of fire, bats rip out. They tear the flesh off of Miley Cyrus as she screams and is devoured by these airborne creatures. You land off to the side, Tom. As Aya and Sarah, you turn and see this wave of bats coming directly at you. I need you each to roll me a dodge. Yes, Sarah.
No, I was just about to say, I'm gonna use my auto success now before I die.
Right.
I don't want to die with it, so.
Well, go ahead and roll me a dodge. Aya, you need to roll a 5 successes here on a dodge.
Oh!
I'm so dead.
I believe. I don't believe.
Sarah, as you dodge out of the way, much like Tom bore witness to the evisceration of Lindy, you bear witness to the shredding of Aya as she turns and shotgun shells and possessions clatter along with stripped bones to the flagstones outside of Emmanuel Episcopal Church. And as this occurs, the bats spiral and fly off into the night as the figure of Susanna appears at the door with a wounded Charlie and a still bacon-smeared Grant. As Susanna looks at Tom, looks at Sarah, smiles and says, "Well, I can only take one of you." And that's where we end the session of Outbreak Undead.
Oh. Okay.
Fuck you, Susie.
I really hope Susie makes a throne out of my bones. That would just make
I'd be fine with mine being joined to that.
Throne of Bones. That will appear next week.
Lindy, throne of bones.
Fantastic.
Nice door
We should put the
decoration
fangs
now.
in for flavor.
Fantastic, my friends. Okay, if you wouldn't mind, we'll go around and do outros. As soon as I upload this, I'll make sure that all of your linked information is down in the doobly-doo so people can follow you. Wonderful role players, new friends and old. Let's start with Lindy. Lindy, sorry I killed you.
It's okay. I was hoping to be turned into a vampire, but becoming a throne of bones for Susie is a fate I'm happy with. So, and bats. I love bats. They're so cute.
Death by bat.
That was super great. That was super duper fun. It was a blast playing with all of y'all. I'm glad two of you survived. But yeah, you can find me online at Laugh Live Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. On my channel every week we have Mondays in Exandria and Mists of Ravenloft, which if you like spooky horror and bats, you should check that out. It's 9 to 11 Eastern. Also, if you like spooky horror stuff, I'm going to be on Tales from the Mists on the D&D channel tonight and next week. So check that out. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing a sorceress with no secrets at all. It'd be ridiculous. And I'm very excited about it. So yeah.
Fantastic. Love it. Let's go over to Matthias. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend, but
Well,
next year when we talk about this, we can definitely say that
I mean, now I
mistakes
got
were made.
not only killed by vampire wolf people, but also my party, so
It was a group effort.
yes.
Everybody chipped in
right.
with Sean.
Why do you hate me so much?
You're so powerful. It took a whole group of people chipping in to take you down.
Yeah.
That was a bad sequence of events, my friends. There's no lying. That was a bad sequence of events.
Well, I'm usually on Twitter or in chat or something, so yeah, I'm not doing much else, so yeah.
Fantastic. Everybody follow Nurgo online. And once again, just remember whenever you take some friendly fire, it can always be worse. As we go over to new friend to the channel, Sarah. Sarah, how are you doing? Did you have fun in the vampiric apocalypse?
I enjoyed so much, guys. Thank you guys for having me, and I had a lot of fun. I survived-ish. I don't know if Tom's going to shoot me now, but we'll see. But yeah, I had loads of fun. Thank you guys, and yeah, I can't wait to see what happens.
Fantastic. Links are in chat, everybody. As we go over to another new friend to the channel, Aya. Aya, thank you so much for being here. Sorry I had to strip your bones with bats.
It's fine. Same as Lindy. I love bats. As every goth. It was a lot of fun. I'm quite proud of my personal account Chocula kill. I had a good kill. I had a bad kill. Sorry, Matthias.
Oh no!
Sorry. But yeah,
I'll get you back on that.
yeah, sure. Come at me next time, but I have a bow at least. But yeah, I don't stream at the moment, but you can find me on Twitter. Loads of people know me probably from the Critter and the Family, the LA by Night fandom, and We're Live Frontier. So you can find me in all these ways and all these Discords.
Fantastic. And finally, Tom. How are you, my friend? And you are still upright at the end of Outbreak Undead: The Feast.
Only just, and it's not a very good, position to be in. But I'm like one of those people who don't believe in a no-win scenario. So we'll see. But I absolutely adored it. I love it. I love this type of game where it's horror and you're so vulnerable that one dice roll can just end you. I love it. It was great to play with you all. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And it was great to have like previous characters in this one shot again, like how they and what happened to them affects what happened to us. I love that little touch of it. It's absolutely awesome. I myself am a Redundant UK. You can catch me on Twitch, where I stream variety games here, there, and everywhere. Also on Twitter, Redundant_UK, and also I am on Encounter Roleplay for Tentacle Tuesday at 7 p.m. BST and all other in Moon time, and then on Thursdays after the fire, a Game of Thrones RPG on RPG Webby at 8 British summertime. So yep, that's where I am so far.
Fantastic, my friend, fantastic. As for me, I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team on the Twitch. A lot of fun things coming up. The culmination of Outbreak Undead a week from today, as the final group, Dessert, goes into the feast to see exactly how they deal with what happened before and with what will be happening now. I love this situation. I love this group. I love the fact that if you look at everything from just a distance perspective, how far do the different groups get from where they physically started? And I have had groups that have gotten miles, and then the second group made it 75 yards from the starting location, Grant's group, from where they perished. This group had a mixture of both. They kind of made some ground up, but...
I gotta ask, how is he covered in grease? I gotta ask.
Grant.
Fell into a trap, and he walked into a Kmart in the mall. And he walked into the Kmart in the mall like, what can I find? And much like a Goonies trap, it dropped bacon grease on him, and hellhounds were released to track him down, and he became a huge snack for hellhounds because he was covered in bacon grease.
That's amazing.
And Grant, of course, being Grant, took it from there, and he was like, I'm going to fight nude. And he's like, he took off his jumpsuit. And so, it was... I
can't think of a more Grant way to go. I
can't either, honestly. That is so Grant.
Yeah, that's Grant.
It was on brand for Grant. But everybody, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for spending some time in Garrett, Maryland as part of the Tales from the Grim community event. We'll hopefully do it again next year, but the story of this one wraps up next week. And as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. See you next time, friends.